Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I want to talk to you if you have both student loan debt that is out of control as well as some tax debt that you're delinquent with and you're trying to deal with the IRS, and sort of how to coordinate those two. And one of the things as a bankruptcy lawyer we have to deal with are people who have multiple legal problems, not just debt problems, but debt problems that maybe cross out of the bankruptcy area into other areas. And a good example of that would be someone who has tax debt. They're delinquent to the IRS. They maybe have not filed returns, or they filed returns but they owe tens of thousands of dollars to the IRS, and they're thinking about filing an offer in compromise or an installment agreement, and at the same time they have student loan debt that is either past due or it's already in delinquency status, or simply just they haven't been paying on it and they've got to deal with it in some way, shape, or form. And I was looking on the blogosphere, and I ran across a very interesting blog post by a Pittsburgh-based attorney who does both bankruptcy and student loan and tax debt, named Sean Wright. And Sean basically wrote a very interesting post, which I'm going to link to here, that talks about situations where what do you prioritize, what do you deal with first? And basically his argument is that if you have student loan debt that is federally issued or federally guaranteed, you want to go ahead and deal with the student loan debt first and then deal with the tax debt later. And when I mean deal with the student loan debt is use one of the income-based repayment programs or a public service reduction or education, a teacher reduction, where you can use your status as a teacher or as a public service employee to get some debt forgiveness for the student loans. And then whatever you've got left, and you get into some sort of a payment plan and you've got an ongoing payment on the student loans. But it's going to be less than what it would have been if you had not taken advantage of one of these government programs. And the reason for that is that as of 2012, the IRS now allows you to reduce from your budget any monies that you're paying towards student loan debt. Prior to 2012, if you were paying on student loans, that was not considered an allowable expense. As far as the IRS is concerned, just don't pay your student loans, and we want all that money coming towards your installment agreement or your offer in compromise. But in 2012, they saw the light and they realized that student loan debt does not go away. Therefore, if you are dealing with student loan debt independent of your tax debt, you've got the student loan debt that you can include your monthly payment and reduce your budget accordingly. And that's really very important, because if, let's say, you've got $300 or $400 a month, that's $300 or $400 a month less in your budget that would go to the IRS. So it can make your offer in compromise, your installment agreement, that much lower. So that's sort of how those two areas intersect. Now, by the way, private student loans, which is not government guaranteed or government issued, that does not fall within the IRS regulations. So theoretically, if you have private student loan debt, your monthly payments may or may not count as far as the IRS is concerned as an allowable expense. Now, most tax attorneys that I've spoken to say that you can make a pretty compelling argument that private student loan debt, the monthly payments, should count as an allowable expense, but again, it's not written in the IRS code, so that may be more of an argument. But that's, again, something to talk with your tax attorney about that. But again, if you are dealing with both overdue student loan debt and tax debt, it probably makes sense to at least look at dealing with the student loan debt first before getting involved with an offer in compromise or an installment agreement with the IRS, since, again, you can include the student loan expense in your budget for tax compromise purposes. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful. My name is Jonathan Ginsberg. Any questions about this, please let me know. Thanks a lot.